Welcome to the A Charitable Life Health Solutions training video on how to fill out a census. The objective of this video is to visually walk through both collecting the information from the employer and submitting the information in the proper format. Now there are two different census types that we'll be working with. The first is an informational census, which is used to gather the information from the employer, and the second is a submission census, which is used to submit the information to A Charitable Life Wellness for processing. Who fills out the census? Well, the employer fills out the informational census, and you, the agent, fills out the submission census. We're going to take a look at both examples. Now, clicking over to the informational census, you can see here that it's an Excel spreadsheet. All of the blue fields are required. We need the full legal name of the company, its address, state, city, zip. We need billing contact information, phone and email. We'll also need their payroll schedule, whether it's monthly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, etc. We'll also need a payroll contact, phone and email for the company, as well as a generalized phone and email. First and last name or unique employee identifier. We don't need both, we need one or the other. It's important to note that the employee ID must match the employee that's enrolling. The workers' comp state and workers' comp code are optional. Full or part-time must be spelled out. Payroll schedule, either monthly, bi-weekly, etc., spelled out. If they're part-time, we will need their hourly rate and the consistent hours worked per week. It's important to note that most part-time will not qualify. They must work at least 30 hours a week to qualify for the plan. We either need hourly rate or annual salary for full-time, one or the other. Most likely you'll have an annual salary for full-time employees. That'll be listed in this column. Then additional pre-tax deductions. This is their 401k, 403b, HSA, or other Section 125. It must be a number, and it must be in monthly numbers. If there's zeros or all zeros, the census will be kicked back for confirmation that there is zero withholding. We'll then need their W-4 marital status, spelled out, married or single, W-4 dependents, and their date of birth. Now once we've gathered all this information, we can then transfer it over into the submission census. We'll go to this here next. Now the submission census, make sure you're using the most up-to-date version. It is a Excel spreadsheet again. We'll make sure that we need to get rid of all the red. So this is not approved yet. There's a lot of errors. Once we enter all the information into the yellow and every one is required, we'll start with number of employees, which is 10. You can see that error sign goes away. Enter in my email here, and again, the error goes away. Now we'll fill out the rest here. And we're ready to go into the employee info, which is where we can transfer the information that we received from the informational census. Once we go to the employee info tab, you can see again, I entered in 10 employees. There are 10 listed, 10 rows. Make sure that you're all the way up at the top, starting with number 2, because if you have many of them, there will be a lot more rows. Make sure you're all the way at the top before submitting information. You can see again that there's a lot of errors here that we need to get rid of. And all the columns are in the same format as the informational census, or in the same order. We can simply go to my informational census, copy all the information, go back over to the submission census, click paste. Now it's important to paste just the values, not any calculations or formulas, just the values, so we get all the data into the census. And once we do that, all of my boxes will still be yellow. All the information will be transferred. And you can see all the errors are eliminated. Going back to the first page, the employer info page, we can see now that this census is approved. Everything's filled out correctly. All the required information is inputted into the census, and we can now submit to ACL by clicking the Submit Excel button. It's important that you save a copy prior to submitting the census for your records. In order to submit the census this way, you must have an internet connection. Otherwise, you can save an email to census@aclfin.com. That's filling out the censuses, both the informational census as well as the submission census. It's also important when opening the submission census that you enable editing. There will be a bar at the top when you open it that says, do you want to enable editing? Do that, please, so you can then enter information. But submitting the census in the proper format will ensure that you have a timely turnaround when it comes to getting your proposal and master agreement documents. Otherwise, if the information is not sent or filled out correctly, it will get kicked back to you and you'll be asked to submit it in the proper format. Final thoughts real quick. The ACL Wellness Program provides an amazing opportunity to assist employers and their employees to ensure a positive experience for all parties. It's imperative that you follow the proper protocol. That means, in this case, filling out the census properly, submitting it properly, and thus seeing a timely return of your documents. Hope you enjoyed this video on how to fill out a census. Best of luck to you out in the field.